Okay, all right. I guess you guys have nothing else to say. So now we can start with our class. And by the way, some of you, like, you guys messaged me and you asked me to talk a little bit in Kurdish. Most of the times I will try to stay in English, but when it's needed, I will try to talk in Kurdish as well. By the way, tonight's class, lesson 19, page 46, it's about declining an invitation. But just to recap, just to review, if you remember the previous lesson, the last lesson, we talked about inviting people to somewhere. Do you guys remember that? We talked about how to invite someone to somewhere, for example, to a special event, or maybe to a birthday party, or maybe to a wedding party. So we talked about how to invite people for those kind of places, all right? We talked about that. And we said we have two main ways to invite people to different places, okay? The first one, do you want to, for example, do you want to see a movie? Do you want to go to the birthday party? Do you want to have dinner with me? Would you like to go to the stadium? Would you like to watch a movie? We said this is how we invite people to somewhere. باسی invite-کردنی کەسێکمان گوتمان چۆن خەڵک بانگهێشتەکەین بۆ شوێنێ بە دوو ڕێگەی جیاواز. Do you want to لەگەڵ would you like to? Oh, you hear the thunder. Wow, that was really high. Okay. So دوو شێوازمان گوت. Do you want to? Would you like to? بەم دوو شێوازە ئێمە خەڵکی بانگهێشتەکەین بۆ مناسبەیەک یاخود بۆ شوێنێک. باشە؟ بۆ ناڵێن چی؟ Do you want to see a movie? Would you like to? Would you like to have dinner with me? بەم شێوازە تۆ پێشنیارەکەیت. باشە. اینجا وتمان ئەگەر قبوڵی کە ئەڵێی چی sounds great, I love it, sounds like a plan, awesome, yeah, I'm interested. ئەمانەمان باس کرد. بەڵام ئەمڕۆ we are going to talk about how to decline an invitation. That's what we are going to talk about tonight. Hey people, everyone, welcome guys. Welcome, and I'm glad you joined. Okay, so tonight we are going to focus on how to decline an invitation. How to decline an invitation. For example, I will invite you to a coffee shop to have a coffee with me, and then maybe you will not accept the idea, or maybe you will say, I'm sorry, because you have a reason for not coming. So this is what we are going to focus on. All right. So in the vocabulary section it says, how often, or how often. So we said both of them are correct. You can pronounce it as how often or how often. You can pronounce it in both way, okay? You can say, how often do you go to these places? How often do you go to these places? Write P pretty often. So when you write P, it means pretty often. يعني زور جار. كتو P دنوسي يعني زور جار رمبو أو شوينا. Hardly ever. وتا زور بكمي. Hardly ever. باشا وتا زور بكمي. Then never. أجر دنوسي يعني تي يعني never وتا هرگيز. Okay, we have some different places that people usually go to. And I'm gonna read the name of the places, and you guys, you can tell me in the comments, how often do you go to these places? The first one, coffee shop. Coffee shop. How often do you go to a coffee shop? Tell me in the comments, okay? Tell me in the comments, how often do you go to a coffee shop? If you go pretty often, write P. If you go hardly ever, write H. أما H نية باشا H. أما لكاتي مكتبه معناه فێربوونی. أما H نية H. باشا H. Okay, if you go pretty often, write P. If you go hardly ever, write H. If you never go to this place, write N in the comments. Okay? أجر هرگیز نتید N بنوسه. Coffee shop. A coffee shop is a place that you can go and have a coffee or maybe a drink. Okay? All right. Okay. What about a mall? What about a mall? How often do you go to a shopping mall? How often do you go to a shopping mall? Tell me in the comments. I can see the comments. You guys, Lavin said hardly ever. Rena said hardly ever. Sheikh said never. Rena said P means pretty often. Arkhan said never. Nimnim said never. Okay, all right. How about a shopping mall? How often do you go to a shopping mall? Do you go pretty often? Do you go hardly ever? Or you never go? How often do you go to a shopping mall? All right. Then we have beach. Beach. I'm not sure if we have a beach in Kurdistan. Do we have a beach really in Kurdistan? I'm not sure. So how often do you go to a beach? Or have you ever been to a beach? Okay. Have you ever been to a beach? I have never been to a beach actually. Never in my life. But what about you? You can say, how often do you go to a beach? Pretty often, hardly ever, never. Mohammed said never. Sheikh said pretty often for the shopping mall. Okay, Hashim said P, pretty often. Excellent job. Rena said P, great job. Bayar said I'm a big fan of shopping mall. Pretty often. Excellent. Yeah, mostly girls are going to shopping malls pretty often. They like shopping, right? They like shopping. Okay, tell me about the beach. How often do you go to a beach? Never, never, never. Or have you ever been to a beach, by the way? Tell me in the comments if you have ever been to a beach. Never, never, never. Nobody has been to a beach? Yeah, Muhammad, I know we don't have a beach here in Kurdistan, but maybe some people traveled and they have been to a beach. Actually, I have traveled, but I have never been to a beach. I don't know why, but I didn't like it. Hey, Kurda, welcome. Ran said never. Okay. How often do you go to a movie theater? How often do you go to a movie theater? Movie theater, a cinema. How often do you go to a cinema? Tell me in the comments. If you go to a cinema, pretty often, write P. If you go to a movie theater, hardly ever, write H. If you never go to a movie theater, write N. Okay? All right. Excellent job. Excellent job. I think you guys understand the words. That's why I'm not translating, right? Okay. Then, how often do you go to a library? I think libraries in Kurdistan are really empty and nobody goes to libraries. Really, I mean it. I have been to a library once or twice and I have not seen more than 2 to 3 people. Do you guys agree with me? Have you been to a library and you see that it's all empty, nobody is at the library? The libraries are always empty, nobody is there. So how often do you go to a library? Do you go pretty often, you go hardly ever, or you never go? Tell me. Excellent, Zuhair. Zuhair says, never. Theater is not a cup of my tea. My cup of tea, sorry. Theater is not my cup of tea. يعني أوشتني كمان حزم ليتي. Okay, Muhammad said we could say sometimes like twice a week. Good. Muhammad said never. Paula said yup. Zanyar said pretty often to the library. Rejav said hardly ever. Beat totally agrees with me. Yeah, unfortunately, but that's the truth. Welcome back, Dada. I'm glad you joined. Rena said hardly ever. All right. All right, awesome. Then the next one, museum. How often do you go to museum? How often do you go to museums? Or how often do you go to a museum? Sundus, bla, yeah, I agree with you. Nek, I am agree with you. Basha, I am agree with you. Ghalata, bla, I agree with you. But excellent job. Ashna, hardly ever. Hey, Ibrahim, welcome. Rejav said, unfortunately, this is true. Ashna said, hardly ever. Chahan said, N. The long N means never. Okay. How often do you guys go to the museum? I actually do not like museum. Even when I traveled I didn't like to go to the museum. I felt like it's time wasting because it's a personal preference. I don't like museums. How about you? Do you like museums or do you go to museums? Never? Most of you never, right? Some people hardly ever and some people go pretty often. Okay. All right. What about pool? A swimming pool. A swimming pool. How often do you go to a swimming pool? Do you go pretty often or you go hardly ever or you never go to a swimming pool? I actually go to swimming pools hardly ever. Hardly ever. Because in Rania we have Durban, so I can swim in Durban and I can swim in Sarutawa. How about you? Do you guys like to swim in a swimming pool or you guys like to swim in the river? Which one do you like? I actually don't like swimming pools. I don't know why. I mean, sometimes I go. I hardly ever go to swimming pools. Okay? I hardly ever go. How about you? Maybe most of you love swimming or maybe swimming is your hobby. So maybe you go to swimming pools a lot, right? Maybe. Awesome. How often do you go to parks? How often do you go to parks? For example, in Erbil, there's Sami Abdurrahman Park. In Sulaimania, there's Hawarishar. I'm not sure about the other cities. So how often do you go to the park? How often do you go? Some of you said hardly ever. Some of you said never. Some of you said pretty often. Excellent answers. Great job. It means everybody understood. All right. How about a theme park? How about a theme park? How often do you go to a theme park? A theme park. Theme park, it's like Chaviland. It's like an amusement park. An amusement park. It means there are some big machine games that you can play in the theme park. So parks and theme parks are different. Theme parks are like amusement parks. It means you go to play some games and to have fun there. But mostly people go to parks to relax, okay? So how often do you go to a theme park? How often do you go? For example, Chaviland is a good example of a theme park. How often do you go to Chaviland? Maybe in a year or maybe in a month. How often do you go? Okay. Last thing, how often do you go to a bookstore? How often do you go to a bookstore? Basha, what's the difference between library and bookstore in Kurdish? Library كتابخانة, بلان bookstore فرشگاه كتابة. All right? Be careful about the differences. How often do you go to a bookstore? Or how often do you buy books? Pretty often? Hardly ever? Or never? I actually go to bookstores hardly ever because I'm not a huge fan of books. I don't like reading books, and I said that 100 times. I don't like reading books. I don't know why, but I don't like it. How about you? Yeah, like family fun in Erbil, about theme park, family fun in Erbil, a good one. Or Majdi Land, maybe, about theme parks. But what about bookstores? How often do you go to bookstores? I hardly ever go to bookstores. Rena said hardly ever. Good job. Okay. Mohammed said I've never been there. Oh my gosh. That's a surprise. Okay. Mohammed said pretty often. Mohammed Jafar said pretty often. Rajal said hardly ever. All right. Amazing answers. Thank you guys for your honest answers. I'm glad you participated. Okay, now if you don't have any questions, I will move to the conversation part. I will read it out loud for you. I need you to listen very carefully and then we will talk about the language booster. Any questions? Do you guys have any questions? ئەوە کەسێ وت مامۆستا وەڵی سێ چوار کەس تێ مامۆستا کاوە خۆیتە ئەو قورتە زۆر ناخۆشە کاوێ بالای بم. Hadi, I don't like books in general. I understand that. Thanks for this suggestion, by the way. Thanks for the idea. Okay. So do you guys have any questions about the first part? Any questions? Or it seems you don't have any questions. If you don't have any questions, I will move to the conversation part. Okay, no questions. Thank you, Ashna. Thanks a lot. Brenna said no questions. Hi, Maskeen. I'm doing all right. Thanks. Okay, it seems the topic is super easy. It's easy peasy. It's like a piece of cake. Everybody understands. So now let's move to the conversation part. All right, the conversation says, why can't Beth go to the museum? Why can't Beth go to the museum? Why can't Chen go tomorrow? Why can't Chen go tomorrow? All right, so I'm gonna read it out loud and then it's super easy. We will move to the language booster. Okay, it says, hello, Beth. Hi, it's Chen. Hi, it's Chen. Hi, how's everything? Hi, how's everything? How's everything? How's everything? لجاتي أوي قبل how are you أمانة تواني بيلاي باشا. Hi, how's everything? Great. Listen, would you like to go to the museum later? Would you like to go to the museum later? اگر بیتان به خوان من لسنی هجده وتمان چون invite کەسێک دەکەی invite کەسێک دەکەی ئەڵێ چی would you like to یاخود do you like to باشە would you like to or do you like to ئەمە ڕێک ئەمەی بابەتەکەی دوێنێ ئەو ئاخیر دەرسەکە خوێنمان listen would you like to go to the museum later would you like to go to the museum later I'm sorry but I can't I'm sorry but I can't okay I'm sorry but I can't really why not really why not barast bochina okay I have to go to work I have to go to work okay do you want to go tomorrow do you want to go tomorrow and if you remember we said want to can be pronounced as wanna وتمان want to أبي بتشي أبي بوانا إخوانينو بلام تكاي أقداري أم غلطة بنا أما غلطة يجي زور باوا زور كس هي كوان تو كأكا بوانا على wanna to أما غلطة ما دام كتو وتد wanna بكرت كراوي want to أكا بيكوايا باشا بنا من على شيء I want to play video games باشا لجاتو يبلي I want to play video games أشتواني يبلي تي I wanna play video games I wanna play video games مالي I wanna to play video games كتو وتد wanna كرت كراوي want to okay I wanna play video games ياخد علي I want to play video games بلا اگر كرت كدو بلا I wanna play video games I wanna play video games all right I'd love to do you want to go tomorrow I'm off then واتا أتوي بعني بروين بعني اوفم بعني إيشمنية كاتي فريمة كاتي بطالمها I'd love to حزمكر but I can't بلام ناتوانم I'm going to the mall with my brother أما يبرون بومول لقى براكما Oh, I see. What about the weekend? كاكا محمد رابردوي وانا علي wanted to باشا wanted to all right I'd love to but I can't I'm going to the mall with my brother لقى براكم روم بو mall Oh, I see. What about the weekend? أي كوتا حفتك تشيكيت ياخد رأي تشيل سكوتا حفتك I can go Saturday أتوانم شم بروم Me too منيش Sounds good أما لو أنا كي رابردو خنمان Sounds good وتبدل ما ياخد يعني برأي مني شرباشا Let's grab a bite before we go grab a bite before we go يعني چی با پاریو بخوینه زور جالم با تی کنن بخوین اینجا بروین Let's grab a bite grab a bite يعني با پاروێک نان بخۆین before we go پێش ئەوەی کە بڕۆین. Okay. Sounds great. Let's grab a bite before we go. Let's grab a bite. ئەمە شێوازێکی ترە بۆ ئەوەی کە بڵێ let's eat something before we go. باشە؟ Good. Okay. Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect. واتە بەدڵمە دەرەجەیەکە. See you soon. See you soon. All right. Awesome. I guess it's super easy. Really, really simple. And I don't think there is a question about it, right? I don't think there is a question about it. Let's grab a bite. Grab a bite يعني با پاروێک نان بخۆین. Let's grab a bite before we go. با پاروە نانێک بخۆین پێش ئەوەی کە بڕۆین. باشە؟ Awesome. Do you guys have any questions? If you don't have any questions, I will move to the language booster. I will explain it in 5 to 10 minutes, and then I will try to bring in people to talk. All right? Any questions? Any questions so far? أو أكرم من الجارب من أو بخمو سماعك لابن بادوري بكمو. All right, any questions so far? Yeah, I know, it's very simple. It's really simple. No questions? No questions? All right. Oh, Geshtiyar, welcome. I'm glad you joined, Geshtiyar. All right, no questions? Awesome. Now let's move to the language booster. Let's move to... What's the meaning of want to? Want to يعني دمهوت. Want to يعني دمهوت. Let's grab a bite. Grab G-R-A-B. أنا كتبه كان لبردسته الأزانشيا. Then يعني أو كاتا من أوفم. I'm off then يعني أو كاتا من أوفم. Then بونا من شلون بكاري بينا بونا لم شي. What's your plan for Sunday? Plan چیه بۆ ڕۆژی یەکشەممە؟ تۆژەڵێ I got no plans. Do you wanna see me? تۆژەڵێ yeah, I'm free. دوایش تۆڵێ چی؟ I will see you then. ئەو then بۆ Sunday ئەگەڕێتەوە ئەو کاتە دبینمەوە. باشە؟ Awesome. Let's grab a bite. Awesome. Okay, now let's move to the language booster part. So, tonight I'm gonna teach you how to lie. I'm gonna teach you how to lie. Sometimes people invite you to somewhere and you don't like to go. So at that time, you should give an excuse for rejecting or for refusing the invitation, right? You should have an excuse for refusing the invitation, okay? Ibrahim نام want to مرز نییە هەموو کاتێک کە توی لە want پێویست ناکە هەموو کاتێک کە توی لە دوابێ باشە لەو کاتدا لە دوایدێ کە ڤێربێکی لە دوای بۆ دەڵێ چی I want to go ئەمەوێ بڕۆم بەڵام ئەوەی تر I want a cake کێکەکەمەوێت کاتە لێرە تۆ پێویستت بە تو نییە بەس کە ڤێربی لە دوای هات ئەو کاتەڵێ چی ئەو کاتە ئەبێ توی لەگەڵ بێ What does this mean? I got it. I got it يعني تيجيشتم. I got you يعني تيجيشتم يعني واضحة حالي بوم باشا. All right. Awesome. Any other questions? Okay. So tonight I'm going to talk about how to decline. Decline يعني refuse. جماعة كلا فيسبوك كتبوا ده. الله accept ياخد decline. decline يعني refuse. واتار ڕەتکردنەوە. تۆ ڕەتیەکەی تۆ کە بڕۆی. Decline, refuse, reject. معناها هەمان معناها. Notice the different ways we decline an invitation and give an excuse. So how to decline an invitation, how to refuse an invitation, and how to give an excuse. For example, somebody would invite you to a wedding party and you wouldn't like to go. Then how would you say, I'm not coming to the party? How would you say that? You can say, sorry. Very simple. Okay? Sorry. ئەمە شێوازی یەکەمیان. شێوازی دووەمیان ئەگەر زۆر داوای لێبوردنەکەی زۆر ئیحرازی ئەڵێ I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry يعني زۆر داوای لێبوردن دەکەم. I'm really sorry زۆر داوای لێبوردن دەکەم. باشە؟ شێوازی سێمیان I'd love to. I'd love to کورتکراوەی I would love to. I'd love to. I'd love to but I can't. I'd love to but I can't. حەزمە کرد بەڵام ناتوانم. ئاڵە بەخوا ناتوانم بنا حەز زۆر حەزمە کرد. I'd love to but I can't. Okay? Good. شێوازی چوارەمیشان یعنی چوار شێوازی سادە تۆ دوانیان بزانە بەسە. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid I can't. ئەو I'm afraid بەمانای ئەو نایە کە دەترسم ناتوانم. بەمانای ئەو نایە یعنی بەداخەوم. I'm afraid لێرە یعنی بەداخەوم کە ناتوانم. I'm afraid I can't. بەداخەوم ناتوانم. باشە؟ ئاگداری ئەمە بن. Okay, so these are 4 simple ways to decline an invitation. You would say sorry, I'm really sorry, I'm so sorry, you can also say that. Or maybe you'd say, I'd love to but I can't. I'd love to but I can't. Okay? Or maybe you'd say, I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid I can't. ضغطهم, what did you write? I don't know. I mean, I didn't see your comments. I'm sorry for that. Okay. So, I mean, write it again. I'll try to read it. Okay. Now you decline the invitation. This is how you decline an invitation. For example, it's my wedding party. I give you a phone call and I say, hey, you are invited. You are invited to my wedding party. Would you show up next week, هفتەی on Sunday? دەردەکەوێت یەیت بۆ ئاهەنگی ژنمارەکردنەکەم یاخو گواستنەوەکەم لە ڕۆژی جومعە لە هەفتەی داهاتوو ڕۆژی شەممە تۆشە تەوێ ڕەتی بکەیتەوە کاتاڵەی چی؟ Sorry یاخود I'm really sorry یاخود I'd love to but I can't حەزمە کرد بەڵام ناتوانم I'm afraid I can't. باش. So when you decline an invitation, when you refuse an invitation, you should have an excuse. You should have a justification. Excuse ياخد justification. هەردووکیان بەمانای بیانوودێ. Excuse or justification. باشە؟ Excuse or justification. You should give an excuse or a justification. For example, you can say, I have to go to work. I have to go to work. واتە دەبێ بڕۆم بۆ ئیش. پێویستە بڕۆم بۆ ئیش. ئەمە یەکێکیانە. کات دەڵێ I have to لە دوای I have to ئەکە ڤێربێکی بەیزدێ. I have to go to work. I have to go to work. Okay? Then, number 2, I need to do my homework. لجياتي I have to أتواني بلي I need to. I have to or I need to. أتواني هردو كيان بكار بينيت. باشا? I need to do my homework. I need to visit my mom. I need to take care of the babies. I need to babysit. I need to clean my house. I have to visit my family. I have to travel. أتواني تندين بيانو بينيتو كاتا. I need to, I have to. لدواء أمانو فيربكي بيز. ياخد أتواني بليتي. I need to, I have to هردو كان بهمان معنا دين. واتا بيويست أو بكم. باشا بيويست أو بكم. ياخد دبي أو بكم. شتيكي ترمان هيا. I want to. وتمان want to أتواني تون بخويني وبلي I wanna. واتا دم هوير. بنمنا بانگهێشت كراي بو شوێنێک توش عليتي. I'm really sorry, but I can't. I wanna clean my room. I wanna clean my room. دم هوير چی بكم؟ جوركم پاک بكموا. I wanna clean my room. I wanna go to the hospital. I wanna study for my exam. I wanna read this book. I wanna watch a movie. I wanna go out with my family. باشا أتواني أم عزرانش بينيتو. لكوتايدا يقرأ ترماني أيجالتي. I'd like to go to the gym. بنمنا I'm afraid I can't. دعوة لبردن دكم ناتوانم بداخو كناتوانم. I'd like to go to the gym. I'd like to stay home. I'd like to see my professor. I'd like to fix my car. حزكم واتا. I'd like to واتا حزكم. I want to واتا دمهمت. I have to, I need to. واتا چی؟ واتا پیوستا امبکم. Alright? Awesome. لكوتايجدا كسي يكم على چی؟ Oh, I see. Oh, I see. واتا تيرغم. I see. تيرغم. لێرە I see بەمانای بینین نایە کە کەسێک شتێکی پێوتی تۆوتت I see واتە تێدەگەم باشە تێدەگەم یان ئەڵێ چی oh that's okay oh that's okay مشکلە نییە یاخود دەڵێ oh no problem at all no problem at all دا هیچ مشکلە نییە باشە کەواتە بەم شێوازە تۆ توانی قسە لەسەر declining an invitation بکەی لەگەڵ giving an excuse و لەگەڵ responding okay I know it was super easy but do you guys have any questions? Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Ooh, what did I say? Tell me in the comments if you have any questions so far. If not, then I will start inviting people to the live session and talk. I'm not sure what to talk about actually. What mean of yours? You are so mean, it means you are so rude. يعني زور بيرز ورق وقصرق ويزعاجي. Okay? Who has the question? I can't see the questions. شوازێکی تریشمانێ و باش ببیرماتەوە لە جیاتی بڵێ I have to توانی بڵێ I got her. I have get to go. باش بۆن I have get to ئەڵێ توانی بڵێ I got her. When I gotta go, I gotta clean my car, I gotta watch this movie, I gotta fix the problem with my cell phone, I gotta study for my exam, I gotta. Okay, it seems the topic is easy. فايق رجرالي use bring and take in sentences. Okay. بنمنا تولا جورو دانشتوي كاك فايق باشا داواي أو كيد من الله. Okay, I will bring you water. What's out boy هنم. I will bring you water. What's out boy هنم باشا. بلام بنمنا علم بنعلم رامبو إيش. تونايد لقلما توشلي براولا منيش لقل خوتا برا منيش علم تي. Okay, I will take you with myself. لقل خماد بم. Take يعني بردن, bring يعني هنان. باشا? Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Kagrajan. Thank you. Thanks a bunch. Okay, any questions? If you guys don't have any other questions, I'm gonna bring in people. I'm gonna start bringing in people. Let me